welcome to the Geek Side. This looks really cool.
What are your geek credentials?
But I fell asleep during 28 days later.
Jib.
Return of the Jedi. I'm gonna side with Star Wars.
What? It's a good show. You should check it out.
Hi there, everyone. Welcome to the Geek Side. I'm Mike Goldberg.
I'm Pete Sankey.
And this is the weekly get-together. Pete and I get together. We talk a whole bunch of geek stuff, movies, TV, comics, just general geekiness. And we post this video online, and you're welcome to join in on the conversation. Basically, the way we're looking at it is every week will be something different. Either it'll be movies, or it'll be TV, or it'll be comics, or it'll be nonsense. And, you know, as we say, you know, we'd like you to join in on the conversation. Tell us what you think. You know, tell us whether you agree with us or not. But, I don't know, we should probably talk.
We should introduce ourselves is what we should do.
Yeah.
This man right here, this is Michael Joseph Goldberg, avid comic book collector and watcher of science fiction programming. Mr. Goldberg, Mr. Goldberg, what are your geek credentials? What business do you have hosting a show called The Geek Side?
My geek credentials is I do a very bad British accent. Does that count? I have no idea.
Yeah, that's...
I think at one point or another I owned a Klingon to English dictionary.
Mark Okrand.
Yeah.
I had that too.
I think I can still say, where do you keep the chocolate in Klingon? I don't know why I seem to remember Noktak Yok the Pole, which I think is, where do you keep the chocolate? I think I still have my Star Trek playing cards buried somewhere in my trunk. I'm not sure. I might, and nice. Oh, actually, the Marvel ones as well. I collected those like crazy. The Marvel card game that they used to have. But my major claim to geekdom was my comic book collection, it's currently, I don't even know. I think I've lost count. I haven't checked the program. 1,500 comics or something like that. In fairness, it's 1,500 comics in like 10 years thereabouts. So it's not that impressive when you think about it in the span of things.
It's impressive when you see it.
Yeah, it's impressive when you see the giant amount of boxes that take up most of my space. And I wonder why I can't get a girlfriend.
I'm an Aquarius. I enjoy sunsets, long walks on the beach, and frisky women.
What else? I love TV. I'm not a big movie guy, but I love television. I know. Like this is why we're really good hosting together. But we'll get to that. I'm a big TV guy. I watch a ton of television, from science fiction to drama to everything. So that's me. Pete, your geek credentials are?
My geek credentials. I as well spoke a little bit of Klingon, although mine was more regional and just kabla and the more conversational Klingon, I guess.
Pach, got it. Pach, have it.
I see. Yes, conversation Klingon. The course I forgot to do.
What else? I love movies. Horror movies are my big thing. I love toys. I collect a lot of action figures and comic books and video games, and I love movies. I watch a lot of TV, but I generally tend to come to things very late to the party. I'm only now getting into Supernatural.
Come on, that can't be normal.
5 seasons long, and he's just watching it now.
Yeah, it usually takes 3 or 4 seasons of a show to be around before I'll even give it a chance.
All right, now, the site is, we're going to have, to start, we're going to have 3 shows. Pete's going to host a show, I'm going to host a show, and then we'll have the Geek Side.
Oh, that's interesting. What's your show
What's
about?
my show? My show is called The Reading List. It's going to be a weekly series where what I'll do is I'll take a look at some of the major stories that are going on in either of the major companies, and you know, maybe even some of the small ones if there's some really big stuff, and actually give you the in-depth what you need to read to understand what's going on. Now, this stems from my brother, who picked up Blackest Night and never really read comic books before, but he was in the comic book store and he's like, this looks really cool. I picked up Blackest Night. And I'm like, do you have any idea about what the story is? I know a little bit about the Green Lantern. And he called me a day later going, I'm really confused. And I started going through everything, and it was like, okay, well, you've got to go back and to Infinite Crisis, and well, you have this whole... Actually, you technically got to go back to Crisis of Infinite Earth, and then you have this... And he's sitting there, and he's just like, how do you possibly remember all this? Well, The problem is, as we've stated, I'm a really big comic book geek, and I remember this stuff. So my show is The Reading List, and it will be an in-depth look at what you need to understand some of the series going on, but at the same token, I think there's a ghost because that light is flickering. At the same token, it will also be recommendations for graphic novel series or for series themselves, ongoing series, what's decent out there, kind of how it got to where it is, and that type of thing. Pete, why don't you tell us a little bit about your series?
My show is called First Draft, and every episode will be taking a look at another screenplay that got stuck in development hell. An early version of a movie that was much, much better than what actually ended up on screen. Because more often than not, the movie that people intend to make is way better than the movie that they end up making. So we'll be looking at things like Last Action Hero.
To be or not to be. Not to be.
Godzilla.
But the target is still moving, sir. We'll circle around and fire again!
We'll look at the 6 different versions that Freddy vs. Jason went through.
Why won't you die?
It's a good show. You should check it out.